Now, the latest weapon in the local campaign against the government's High-Speed 2 rail project has been unveiled today. It's a guide for walkers, giving them routes that'll take them through some of the South Northamptonshire countryside that'll be affected by the new rapid link between London and Birmingham. Our South Northants reporter, Martin Heath, has been looking at this guide. So what is it, Martin? Like a leaflet?
It's like a leaflet, yes. It sort of folds up, and it's easy size to carry around, or having one of those little kind of waterproof clipboardy things that people carry around when they're doing walks. And it says, walk HS2 in South Northamptonshire before the train comes. And it's got a picture of fields, which says present, and then a picture of future with a kind of whacking great railway line right the way across it. And of course, one point they're making is that when they talk about a railway line across the South Northamptonshire countryside, it's not just the width of the track, it's the width of the kind of embankment that it goes into. So it cuts quite a swathe across the countryside. And the whole thing is the brainchild of Alan Smith. Now, he runs a company called Global Mapping that's quite well known, based just outside Brackley. And he's also involved in the Brackley Wildlife Trust. And he told me where he got the idea.
I think the original idea came to me in the bath.
As all the best ideas do.
As they do, yes. We were doing a walking guide of walks around South Northamptonshire. One of the walks actually went across the route where the HS2 is proposed to go. And it just seemed to me that the silence of the peace and the beauty and the tranquility of the area was going to go forever. And it just seemed to, if we actually did something to tell people what they're going to be missing, and highlight where the route's going to go, they could actually at least walk it before it goes and disappears.
And it has lots of different routes on it, taking you from various places: Turweston, Whitfield, Holt's Copse, an ancient woodland which will be ruined by HS2, they say. And they say ancient woodlands are important as they support a biodiversity that takes hundreds of years to develop and cannot just be transplanted. They say that a government minister said all you need to do if you've got one of these ancient woodlands is to put it somewhere else. And they say you can't just take all these 100-year-old trees up and replant them somewhere else. It just doesn't work like that. Turweston, just on the county border, was where they launched the leaflet this morning at Halvorsen's farm, which is owned by Rachel Halvorsen. And I asked her about how this would affect her farm.
I don't like thinking about it too much because I sort of tears start welling up. My family have lived here for a few generations actually, and I've known it since childhood. And one of my favourite bits is the river down there, which is just going to be completely decimated. Unfortunately, the track's going to be on a 15-metre viaduct. It's only 300 metres from where we live. It's going to completely break up the farm. It's really going to ruin our life here.
So do you think this HS2 walking guide's a good idea?
I think it's great. It just serves to upset me even more, because I love wildlife.
Do the campaigners not accept then, Martin, that some sacrifices have got to be made in the name of progress?
Well, that's interesting. It's a point I put to Alan Smith, and he said that originally when he first heard about this plan for a fast link from London to Birmingham, he was in favour.
I have to say, when it was first announced, I thought HS2 was a good idea. We actually do the rail map for Thomas Cook, and seeing these high-speed lines across Europe seemed, why haven't we got them in Britain? It's a shame it's going through my backyard, but if that's what it's going to take, then so be it. But then over the last, it's 2 years now, the facts are coming out more and more, and the economic argument for it just doesn't stack up at all.
So what they're now saying is that the benefit is not sufficient for all this destruction to be taking place, and they mention things like the old railway lines that are now surrounded by wildflowers and insects, and particularly butterflies, like the Aston Le Walls railway line, for instance. Lots of butterflies in that area, and they seem particularly concerned about the effect on butterflies. They say this leaflet is going to be available in all sorts of shops and pubs and other facilities locally. Gives you 6 different routes, varying lengths as well. So if you're looking for an hour-long walk, there's one there, but there's also a 3-hour and a 4-hour walk, amongst others. So they're hoping that this is one way in which they'll get their point across and also provide a bit of extra leisure activity as well.